Alright, welcome to part 2. So let's take a look at number 4. So again, we need the first term, which in this case is our second, and our last term, which is a 12. So plugging it in, plug in 2, that becomes 5. Plugging in 12, 36, that becomes 35. To get n, remember just take the 12 minus the 2, add 1. We get 11. There's 11 terms on this one. So to get the sum, we take the 5 plus the 35, multiply it by 11, and then we divide that by 2. This time it becomes 40. 40 over 2 becomes 20, so 20 times 11. Ooh, what is 20 times 11? I'll grab my calculator here. Well, if we want to just type it all in like this, 5 plus 35 times 11, then divide that by 2, and you get 220. And there's our answer. So see if you can try number 5 on your own. It's kind of like number 3 a little bit, but we're adding. And then let's take a look at number 6. Now for number 6 here, we got to be careful. We know n is 20, but here's what we need. We need our first term, which they kind of give us as 5. We need our last term, which we don't know. We have to go back and find that. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. We also need n, which they tell us is 20. So how do we get the last term? Well, for the last term, we need to find a of n, a sub n, and that's what we did yesterday. So to get that, we go a sub n equals, remember this, it's your first term plus d, n minus 1. So our first term we know is 5. D, the common difference, well, let's take a look here. Looks like we keep adding 4 each time. So d is 4, right? Remember what we keep adding, that's my common difference, and n minus 1. So if I want to find the 20th term, it's 5 plus 4, 20 minus 1, 19. And if we do that, ready, let's go take a look at our calculator again. It's 5 plus 4 times 19. We get 81. So my 20th term is 81. Now I can find my sum. It's the first plus the last multiplied by the number of terms divided by 2, which becomes 86. I can cancel those out, becomes 10 times 10, and we get 860. Try that one again if you need to, because we're going to need those for 6 and 7. All right, so let's take a look at number 6. All right, an auditorium is shaped like a triangle with stages at the wide end. Determine the total number of seats. If in the auditorium there are 20 rows, so that's going to give us n, the number of rows, where the first row has 50 seats. Well, what do you think that gives us? That's right, a sub 1. The second row, 48 seats, and the third row, 46 seats. So, and so on. There's a pattern there. We want the total number of seats. So remember our formula, it's the first one plus the last, a sub n, times n, the number of terms, over 2. So let's see what we need. We need our first term. We need our last term, and it's going to be 20 this time, and the number of terms, which is 20. Now the first one we already have. They told us it's 50. So we need to get a sub n, or a sub 20. So remember, to get a sub 20, we have to use our formula. The first term plus the common difference times n minus 1. So the first term, we know that it's 50 plus our common difference. Well, what's happening here? We're going from 50 to 48. So we go from 50 to 48 to 46. We're subtracting 2. And there's our common difference, negative 2. So d is negative 2 and minus 1. So to get the 20th term, we get 50. I'm just going to write this as minus 2 times 19. And that's 50 minus 38, which is 12. So in the last row, there are 12 seats. So how do we get the total number of terms? Well, you take your first, 50 plus the 12, multiply it by your number of terms, which is 20, over 2. Easy breezy, 62, and I can reduce that to 10 times 10, and there are 620 seats in the auditorium. So we can actually get the exact number without having to count them all up. So let's see if we can do this one, next one here. Here we need to take a look at that again. Oh no, Mr. Wernow fell from an airplane. Luckily, he has math to keep him busy until he hits the ground. During the first second to fall, he fell 4.9 meters. So that sounds like it's my first term. A sub 1 is 4.9. He fell 14.7 meters in the second, and 24.5 in the third second, and 34.3 in the fourth second. He realized this is an arithmetic sequence. If the pattern continues, how far did he fall when he hit the ground in 10 seconds? So we know n is going to be 10. What we need to find out is, well, how far did he fall in that 10th second? So let's go ahead and get that. Look at the pattern, 4.9 to 14.7. So we're adding, because this is a series, plus 24.5 plus 34.3 plus so on and so forth. So we subtract those, right? If I want to find the common difference, I'm going to subtract them. 14.7 minus, what is it, 4.9? And I get 9.8. So I'm increasing each, and these all are 9.8. So that gives me D is 9.8. So to get A sub 10, well, we have to use our formula. A sub n equals, remember this, our first term, that's up here if you need it, 4.9 plus our common difference, 9.8 times n minus 1. So if I want to find out how far I fell in just the 10th second, we get 4.9 plus 9.8 times 9. And I'm going to type all that in my calculator. 4.9 plus 9.8 times 9, and I get 93.1 meters. So in just the 10th second alone, between 9 and 10, we fell 93 meters. That's pretty far. Okay? Now, so what's my total distance? Well, that's S equals the first term plus the last term multiplied by the number of terms, number of seconds, all over 2. And if I add these together, 4.9 times 93, what's that, 96? Oh, 98, I'm terrible. 98 times, cancel that, becomes 5. And 98 times 5, we get 490 meters. So that's how far we fell in total distance. That's how far we fell totally. Okay? So what I would like you guys to do is see if you guys can try number 8 for tonight, and we'll go over this tomorrow in class. And don't forget, we do have a quiz tomorrow, so make sure you study. Bye.